And then while it was happening, the BP oil spill was happening in the Gulf of Mexico. So there's a lot about oil. And I don't know if you know that the Tate is financed by BP. So it's an interesting thing whether I believe it's best to get in there, produce a book that's critical of BP.
Get them to pay for it. And get them
to
pay for it.
Other people think differently, so it's another big debate there. So this is about, these were these little ice balls that you buy in Muji, that you fill with ice, that you're supposed to put in your whiskey. They're about that big, I don't know how you get it, you drink it, but anyway, I just put blue colour dye in them and then poured molasses and treacle and various bits of shit all over them and then photographed it. So these are photographs of this little thing from Muji. And then it ends on stuff about armaments. Put that one in it. And then the idea being that at this point things break up and you start. To me, it's got an optimistic ending. A lot of people can't see that, which is, in my words, maybe it's not surprising. And the missile breaks up, you can see, and turns into, and the missiles go out of there, and it turns into corn on there. I didn't actually notice. I just thought that corn grows the other way up. I don't get out of London very often, but someone told me at a talk that it's wrong. Why do you do it the wrong way up? Anyway, I love nature. And then it ends with this watch, which this is a photograph of a watch that stopped at Hiroshima. It's just a straight photograph at the time of when the bomb went off, the nuclear bomb went off. And so I just saw it like a sequence of that turns into a peace symbol. And then it ends with sort of breaking the wire. And then that, and then that. And then I put a visual index on as well, which is obviously really symbolic rather than real, but it adds to this idea that the whole thing is visual. And that's, I had to put this sort of stuff on the back, but this has got the word "at Earth" in 50 different languages down the side. And then we managed to persuade not to put any names or anything on the front. So, and hopefully that's, that's to me the beginning of this idea of having a visual language that can be a sort of voice of dissent against all this bombardment of imagery and all this shit advertising we get the whole time bombarding us, is to try to find a visual language against that. And that's it. I've gone on too long.
That's great. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Yeah.
Doesn't it frustrate the hell out of you that somebody like Dizzy Rascal has got your image on a T-shirt and he obviously has no idea what the hell it means, and he obviously doesn't believe in it?
How do you know he hasn't?
Well, no, I don't know, but usually when it comes to fashion, they tend to take a good idea and wash all the goodness out of it.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that...
No, I thought it was great because it means people, young people will see it and then say, well, what's that symbol? And then it's a way to get things across, I think. But if you do this sort of work, you work in a tiny little bit of the economic market, where I've got nothing compared with the corporations, and so any way of getting it out, and if Dizzy Rascal wears it, and people think about it, I think that's great. And maybe, maybe it was him that wanted to wear it. So I don't think that T-shirt is part of they're not selling it, they're selling the jacket, I think, in that picture. I don't think, there are, I get pissed off, like a lot of Japanese have ripped off a lot of the images and put them on T-shirts and just done it as a commercial thing, But to actually argue with that would cost thousands in lawyers' fees. It's not worth it. I believe,
Is it it true that Downing Street tried to ban Tony Blair 06 from being exhibited?
From what?
Is it true that the Downing Street tried to ban your work of Tony Blair?
Well, that's what they say when it was up in Banksy's in the ghetto, that they tried to ban it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was a rumour, but I don't think so. I mean, how could they? You know, you couldn't in this country ban an image like that. It's not obscene, you know. Well, it is obscene, but he's obscene. So, but yeah, it's a rumour. It's also a rumour that Thatcher really liked the image of her as Queen Victoria and had it up in the bog in number 10. I don't know if that's true either, but I was told that by some Tory weirdo.
There's a couple of students who are doing a lot of montage work.
Yeah.
And been asking about the sort of copyright implications of that.
Yeah.
And how you navigate that, how you skirt that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's you've got any advice about that?
It's a really complex issue. I mean, one needs to sit. Yeah, one needs to sit down with them, and it's about how much of the picture you use, what you do with it. But as a student, I always tell students just to go with it, which I mean I do a lot of the time. I go with it, and then if it comes back, then you either take the thing down or pay them. You know. But I mean the thing with that Tony Blair one, we nicked the picture because we thought it's a PR picture anyway, and then Stop the War sent it to the Associated Press they wanted for a march or something, and then I got a phone call from the Associated Press saying, "Oh, this is our picture. We want £26,000 off you." So I said, "Oh yeah," and in the end, it's so silly of us. We were sending it into the belly of the beast, because it was their picture. I didn't know they were doing their copy. In the end, I did pay £1,500 for that, based on the fact we were selling print of it. And that's one of the few images that we've sold quite a lot of print of. So, we did pay for that. And it is complex because, photographers, they need money. One of the ways they get money is if their picture's being used, So I often work with photographers, like Jenny Matthews, a good friend, and pay them myself a bit, because it's not all crazy copyright. But it is very complex now, and especially since someone like Jeff Koons got done for turning a photograph into a sculpture. And if you know about that, the case, and he got done. But usually they just go for people they know have got a lot of money. So Jeff Koons is obviously making millions, whereas this sort of thing they know are not exactly living it up in Capri every day.